Today's live stream is sponsored by FS Academy. If you want to get started with the most realistic tutorial series and missions for flight sim, you can choose from FS Academy's various products, all available to purchase from multiple websites, including our friends at Orbex and Contrail. The FS Academy add-ons, created by a real airline captain, are designed to help you get started confidently, stepping up your skills with VFR flight or IFR navigation. Their latest product, Navigator, has you navigating cross-country using real techniques, touring the landscape and mirroring a real navigational course. It comes complete with a full ground school manual and 11 tutorial missions which give you the crucial skills needed before setting off on a multi-leg bus trip across wonderful Scotland to put it all into practice. So check the link in the description and go take a look at the FS Academy website today. Hello again everybody, and a very warm welcome back to the channel. We're in Zurich and we're off to Ohrid today, or Ohrid, I have no idea how to pronounce it, but it's in North Macedonia, just north of Thessaloniki actually, in Greece, so a little bit further up north into the mountains. We head off in towards North Macedonia. And we've got some nice new payware scenery. Well, not new, it's been out for a few months now, but it's new for me. I bought it just yesterday in preparation for today from Orbex. We're going to check that out. And we're back in the Fenix A320 here on Microsoft Flight Simulator for the last stream of the year too. Yo, hello, member for 16 months, Gold Frequent Flyer, thank you for all of your ongoing support, and everyone else in the live chat. Lots of green today, Dursey 2, Yoet, Badger, hello folks, Joey, Fritz, good morning, David, Ian, Liam, running cost index of 38.39 today, MPS Gaming, hello, good afternoon, Osprey 598, joining us from LIRQ, Birdman, welcome, Mark, hello. So here we are, Bravo 31. We've got a default GSX profile for this, so I've got no idea how it's going to work with pushing us in this cul-de-sac, but we'll find out. We'll see what happens. We'll just let GSX's brain do it all by itself. And we are not too far from pushback. We've had to do a couple of bits already because of some issues with the FMS, or the MCDU here. Hey Ron, welcome. Matthew's boarding at Echo 47. VATSIM, hello, welcome. So we've got 149 passengers, loaded at 2 tons of cargo and 7.6 tons of fuel. And we've got, I should probably write this down here, the load sheet information on the left, 0 fuel weight, centre of gravity, gross weight, and take-off weight, centre of gravity as well. Let's scribble these down. I need new pens soon. It's almost like dust at the very bottom, the ink that's left. Gross weight 65.6 tonne, 28.9 takeoff, max CG. Right. MG King, hello. Where are we at? So that's our departure time, estimated at 13:20Z, and we've got most of this input as well. So we can go to perf page. Let's add in all the data, fuel planning, and we know we've got 7.6, so let's just type it in. Won't worry about doing fuel planning bits there. I've had to redo this because I aligned the IRS, started getting everything set up, and then I found all of a sudden my flight plan had dropped all the Zurich stuff off, and it just said POS. Like it got the alignment of the IRS confused. It was a little bit weird, so I've ended up having to redo it all from start again, basically. Wow, hello, good afternoon. Perf page. Let's do our takeoff performance calculations. Hello Doc, welcome. I've got no idea if the product link is working today in the pin. It says to me product no longer available, which is weird. It's our brand new pea soup merchandise that we launched only a couple of days ago, so quite weird that it's not actually visibly showing anything, but if you can click the link it will take you to the shop apparently. Runway 28, we'll go with dry, but actually what is the METAR telling us here at Zurich? Winds 240 at 9, variable 150 and 280 degrees, all the 9s. Few clouds 5,500 feet, broken 6,000. Temperature's 12 degrees Celsius with a dew point of +4 degrees Celsius and a QNH 1015. So I'll take that as dry. We'll sync our final load sheet. We'll go 1+F. In fact, let's do optimum. We'll just see what happens. Packs will be on. Get the live weather in. And let's calculate our speeds. I'm hoping for flaps 1+F. There we are. So we're going to go 140, 140, 143. Flaps 1. Triple horizontal stabilizer down 0.1 on a flex of 60 degrees Celsius. And there goes delivery that I've been waiting for, which is rather frustrating, but I will be back in about 60 seconds.
Zurich traffic, Osprey 1927, pushing back from gate Echo 47, facing east.
You know that I'ma keep it cool. With you I feel like breaking rules. On the edge, looking out with no parachute. You know I'm dreaming.
I might as well do the Olympics that quick. Right, I think it was less than 60 seconds, wasn't it? Birdman, did you recover your custom camera settings? Weirdly, yes, in this. But I think the custom camera settings issue was in the fly-by-wire A320, wasn't it? The A320NX. But we've got custom camera views in this, which is good. Right, where were we? Performance calculations. 140. Rotate, same speed. Well, I always think that's weird. V1 is your committed speed. So at that point, you're committed to take off no matter what happens. So I always think it's quite strange that in response, the rotate speed is the same. Because in my mind, you need a couple of seconds to process whether or not you are committed or whether it's safe to take off. I don't know. If it says that, I'll put that. Max 60 degrees, and there's our thrust reduction altitudes and stuff. So thrust reduction at 3,050 feet basically, let's round it up. Acceleration altitude 4,400 feet, just above, and then engine out as well, just near enough 3,050 feet. Our flight plan, we're going to depart runway 28 on the Deadjess 3 Whiskey departure.
Traffic 090, pushback from gate A09. We'll be taxiing all the way down Echo for
which looks like this. So runway 28. Yeah. We're going to fly runway heading. We then have a little bit of a kink left. And that's to achieve an outbound radial of 252 degrees from the Clerton VOR. Up to 6.5 DME, all when instructed by ATC, as it says in that little speech bubble there. We're going to then commit to a 180 degree turn back on ourselves towards the field, climbing up max of 210 knots in the turn. There's an a speed constraint that we need to adhere to there. Back towards the Clerton VOR before we fly outbound away from Zurich Airport for Mommel, Kolul, and then some RNAV waypoints to Deadjess. Transition altitude of 7,000 feet, above which we go to standard pressure. Currently, we are looking at no ATC at the moment, which is great, because it means we zoom about on Unicom for a little while. So performance, that's done. They're all set. Init A, cruiser flight level 350, cost index of 36. Init B, and the departures are all set. Fuel prediction tab, good. And the rad nav page is tracking the Culloden VOR at the moment. We'll leave that. You could, in theory, program a course to fly inbound to it or outbound from it, and then use the VOR mode perhaps if you wanted to. Do something a little bit more hands-on, but we shan't worry about that really too much. Let's get the APU on. 8 minutes to push. Fueling is done as well. Sato says, don't tell me Ohrid Airport is a backtracking airport. Oh my god, it is. It actually is. There's the charts for Ohrid. Expecting runway 01 for landing. If we can smash it out and get it braked by Charlie, we can vacate straight to the apron. If not, Bravo. Or we've got to go all the way to the end, turn around and backtrack. I need to, while we're waiting for the APU, just need to get the taxi charts up, because we're gonna taxi on a specific routing out of this cul-de-sac. Where are we? Gate 31. So November Foxtrot.
Merry Christmas.
090, we are crossing runway 10, crossing 10 on Echo.
And then we'll go from there, because I think it's November Foxtrot. Inner. Or we'll just keep it simple. We'll do Foxtrot and then Alpha. Alpha 1. Taxi. Cool. 5 minutes. APU's available. Let's get that on bleed.
Zurich traffic, Tari 93 November, establish file left runway 14.
Off external power. Lights and signs are all set as required. And up here we've got no warnings. And all the lights that we'd expect to see extinguished on an Airbus are extinguished, so that's all looking good. Down here as well is all set up for our flight today. Get a perfect tab here. Initially, for the Dejas 3 Whiskey, we just want to climb the 5,000. That's our initial climb clearance. We're on Unicom though, so as we reach nearer to 5, we'll just keep going. We'll keep going all the way up to cruise unless ATC come online. I think it is pretty much time for push. 6 minutes. We'll push early. Why not? Prepare for pushback. This takes about 1 minute to 2 minutes, 1 to 2 minutes, to get this all fired up working. That's a scary face.
We are ready for pushback.
Wesley, welcome. Almost a member for 2 years. Nice work. Thanks for the ongoing support. Can't believe we've had it going for that long. It's mega.
Zurich traffic, Osprey 1927, taxi
music.
runway 32 via Delta Hotel Delta. Bravo, Bravo 1 behind the traffic on Delta. Zurich traffic.
143, 153 will be plus 10.
Zurich
About
traffic,
that.
Osprey 784, pushing back from gate A7, inner, facing east.
Facing west is what we want. Looks like we've actually got a custom profile. Maybe we do. Zurich traffic, Edelweiss 416 is gate Bravo 31. Push and start in the cul-de-sac to face west.
And Zurich traffic, Olympic 6324 at stand Alpha 04, pushing back to the cul-de-sac, facing east.
Alpha what?
section that's facing west.
Liam, we're on Unicom,
Olympic
122.8.
6324.
So there, we've got 2 there. 2 minutes it's taken so far for us on pushback. Then to lock the pin.
Release parking brake.
There we go, beacon on, park brakes off.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
We're on a mare with model matching. Don't know who that's supposed to be over there. That's a tight old push. Right, let's go. Ignition start. That's weird. Engine start, lever not on idle. Now it is. Pull the pin there as well to recenter the artificial horizon. Love that little wiggle. Favourite feature. Olympic 6324, that's why. Wesley says, thanks for the content during the pandemic. Been busy the past year, but we'll do a comeback for the flights when free time comes along. No worries at all. So, yeah, it was all good fun during the pandemic, wasn't it? There's lots of us in need of a good laugh.
So Tom Jet's even there for a mate check.
Hopefully.
Got a ready check.
You got it.
35.
Now, you know what? This free GSX pushback profile for GSX is really good. Look at that. Pushed us wonderfully in the cul-de-sac. Well impressed. Ed, thank you very much, buddy.
Please set parking brakes.
Really appreciate that. I don't think it went off. Did the jingle go off for a tip? Will's tipped £5. Really generous of you. Thank you very much, buddy. Waiting for engine 1 to start. Been lazy. I put the taxi lights on already. Probably just blinded the dispatcher. Oh well.
After passing traffic.
Weird. It's just changed. Very weird. Anyway, let's get these VORs on. We've got constraints on as well. We want auto brake max. Engines 1 and 2 look good. We need to get rid of the dispatcher, so confirm good engine start.
We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Unlocking gear.
Ah, Zato, cool, no worries.
And Olympic 6324 is changing call signs to Osprey 6324.
That's we'll bring that into 10-mile range ring because we want to see nice and closely what we're doing for this departure. Make sure the aircraft is flying it properly on managed mode. If not, we'll have to go to our own heading select mode and sort of fly it ourselves. Sunwings is meant to be TUI. Yeah, Sunwings do, they actually get a wet lease with TUI sometimes, so you get Sunwing aircraft flying TUI flights at times.
Just lining up with runway 16 for departure, lining up runway 16 for departure.
MCDU menu, because we've got a message.
Zurich traffic, Osprey 6324 taxi to 28 via Echo, Alpha holding short at Alpha 1.
Bar break off. Zurich traffic, Edelweiss 416 is following the Osprey Airways aircraft from November. Taxiing to hold point Alpha 1 runway 28 via Foxtrot under Alpha Zurich traffic. Arm the spoilers in this. Where's our rudder trim? Make sure that's reset to neutral. Taxi lights can go on as well.
Tom Jet 0,
Pushing back from gate 33.
What's easier on the frames in their current state, the Unibuilds A310 or the PMDG 737? Chris is asking. Great question. The 737. Actually, you remind me. Let me just check something.
Osprey 04, pushing
What
back
day was it yesterday? No, 2 days ago we did a giveaway, didn't we?
17, facing east on inner.
Oh no, different Chris. That's the point. So Chris Gardiner didn't actually claim his prize the other day for the Unibuilds scenery. Oh my god, what the hell? Come on, Fenix. That's rogue. Don't know what happened there.
Traffic.
Good to know that works. British Airways aircraft that's departing on that runway. Interesting, okay.
Zurich traffic, Osprey 1927, lining up runway 28 for departure.
There goes the one departing on 28. Okay, so the winner the other day didn't actually claim their prize, the Unibuilds Nadi airport scenery, I think it was, wasn't it? So we will re-roll that. The terms and conditions are still the same as what we mentioned in that Nadi airport scenery trip we did 2 days ago. But you just got to answer another question though. So for you, those of you who are watching, awesome. You've fallen into a little bit of luck, if you like, because you can be in with the chance to win the new Unibuilds Nadi Airport scenery for Microsoft Flight Simulator, a re-roll of the giveaway 2 days ago, which never got claimed. All you've got to do is make sure you're subscribed, so you guys know the drill. Adhere to the terms and conditions. The link for that is in the live stream's description from 2 days ago. And you've got to answer one question correctly, and that question is this: what is the name of our newest merchandise product lineup? What is the name of our newest merchandise product lineup? Pop your answer once into the live chat. Throughout the stream, when we get to Ohrid, we will pause and draw the winner. Flaps are green and set. Let's do that. There goes an Osprey. Zoom, zoom. Such a great livery. I wish we had the money to turn this into a real airline. Liam, the 77 won't start at all. Interesting. Make sure your packs and everything are on and all that sort of stuff. It'll be, most of the time it's user error. You may have missed one switch, and that will be enough in a 737 not to start the engines up. So that's all good. In fact, let's do all cool. I'm going to put these out the belly, and I'm going to put that on to auto now. Whack the nose light on.
6324 lining up runway 28.
The hell? Oh, there he is. I can see like a beacon flashing over here, which is really confusing. There's nothing there. So we need to give him about 3 minutes because we're flying to the same place. Matthews just crashed a desktop. That's not good.
Traffic Osprey 2472 is pushing back from stand Echo 25, facing to the west. Zurich traffic.
Mark says, does anyone know of a website or video that explains the nav display on the PMDG 737? What I want to know is what the banana line signifies and the little line that wags like a dog's tail. Yeah, the little waggy tail is the direction of the aircraft. I think that's more the heading. As opposed to track. Or the little waggy tail is, that's where the aircraft is turning, so it's trying to show you if you're turning left, it's going to be it's trying to turn, basically demonstrate on the nav display the radius of the turn. where the aeroplane will go if you continue turning at that rate, basically. That's what that little waggly line is. And the banana line is like your top of descent or top of climb marker. That's telling you where you're going to reach the altitude you set, like Doc has said. Ron, not quite the answer there, the snapback cap.
Zurich traffic, Osprey 8.
It's more the type, the design, sorry. What's the name of the newest design for our merchandise? We'll be flying through it if we have bad weather. There's a clue. Lights, signs, takeoff memos, no blue. Runway's looking clear and nothing on approach is visible.
Osprey 804 following traffic on inner.
If you need a clue for the answer, it is in our Discord server in the announcements tab.
Osprey 155 will actually push and start after the 2 weeks.
I need to just do some waggling of this the rudder pedals here because it's a bit crazy sensitive at the moment. Hey, there we go, Automator. It's a question for the hardcore fans that have got eagle eyes. Exactly, VATSIM. It's a tough question, I'll give you that. But I gave you an easy question the other day. Keep smashing the likes, folks.
Traffic, 76 Alpha Tango on the Alpha 57 pushing back, facing east.
Zurich traffic, Edelweiss 416 via Alpha 1 lining up runway 28, taking off Dejas 3 Whiskey departure. Zurich traffic.
Zurich traffic, Osprey 6324, airborne 3400 for 350. Final call for Zurich.
Zurich traffic, Echo Papa 90.
32, what?
Aviation ramp with information kilo.
It was in our Discord server announcements. We had a 5% off deal code as well for a couple of days to sort of celebrate the launch. Oh, there was a jet there with beacon lights. Little, is it CJ4?
Zurich traffic, Echo Papa 90. What runway are we using for departure to the west, or to the north?
It's runway 28 or 1.
Okay, stick forwards. Brakes off.
Roger that.
40%, engines stable. 2 clicks. Flex.
And Edelweiss 234, standing at Delta 1.
Doesn't like that.
Taxi to
There's flex.
intersection Alpha 2, runway
SRS and runway.
Echo and Delta. Zurich traffic.
80 knots already. I think
Zurich traffic, Osprey 2472, taxi to runway 2.
32, the pea soup discount code is still valid for a day or two. I'm not sure, I'd have to check. V1, rotate. Performance in the Fenix is still a lot worse than anything else that I've got in the hangar. Daniel, it's about an hour and a half. Yeah, the sound's good. Let's go autopilot 1 on. The nice thing with fly-by-wire is you set the pitch and then you can just let go of the controls, whereas in the 737 you've got to be fighting it still, you've got to be flying the jet. But I prefer that more hands-on approach in a flight sim.
I'm waiting for 4 minutes separation.
Thrust, lever climb. Click. So we're going to start to accelerate away on the departure.
Zurich traffic, Echo Papa 90. I'm going to give way to these
Martin, no, it was one that was voted on inside our Discord server. It was a suggestion for a route, which then got quite a few votes in comparison to other options. So it's been a while since we've tackled one of these, so we thought we'd end up flying the most popular route, basically. It's a bit of a random place, though. Ooh, random spool down there. So at 5,000, Look at the displays. Look how blocky the displays have become. That's now refreshed itself, I think. No, it hasn't sorted itself out. Flaps away, spoilers retracted. Let's set this up to 350. First time flying the Fenix in quite a few weeks, to be honest.
Bravo X-ray, Bravo Victor X-ray 804, you are cleared to hold short of runway 28. I'm waiting for to set up my FMC.
Beautiful clouds
Echo
around us here.
Echo Victor 990. Zurich traffic.
The displays are really choppy though. Let me zoom in.
Echo Victor Papa 90.
What's that primary flight display altitude instrument? Unless now it's not going to do it because we're looking at it. Oh, there we go. Look at that. I have to wait for it to do it again. There we go. So little stutters and things inside there. That system, something's not happy.
Via inner and alpha to runway 28.
Nice one, Ron. So is it still valid then? I might have to double check. Route 10.
Zurich traffic, Osprey 1927, pushing back from gate
Radio,
Echo
there we go.
47 for departure on runway 28.
Zurich's always quite nice. We've not been out of Zurich for a little while now, have we, to be fair? But there it is down below the main city area. Very nice. Tricky approaches, very busy airport, nestled in the mountains as well, so tough on approaches, especially in bad weather, but also quite interesting, very scenic too. We're going to overfly the airfield once again. I'm just watching the speed there. It's interesting because the aircraft, has anyone else got issues with Fenix's VNAV at the moment? We're holding a speed that's technically below our minimum clean. It was barely able to hold 210 knots, to be totally honest. So the aircraft shouldn't do that. So even with a constraint, I don't think. So we're a maximum speed of 210 knots. There we are for the Kloppen VOR. It's fine, but we should hold the green dot, I would have thought, because the aircraft should say, hold on, I can't fly that slow because I've retracted all the flaps, I'm clean now. So then it flies at minimum clean, right? Or have I got that wrong? Interesting, because it was almost at alpha floor.
Zurich traffic, Osprey 2472 is at holding point Bravo 1, runway 28. Zurich traffic.
Anyway, there we go, into some pea soup. We'll leave the belts on for a little while. Flying up and over the mountains, the Alps, we'd expect a fair bit of turbulence on the departure. Mark, interesting, says your Fenix was really sluggish the other day. Weird. Liam, he's waiting for 4 minutes separation. That's it, he's doing it properly because we're flying the same route and there's going to be a backtrack further down when we get towards Ohrid. We're going to wait 4 minutes roughly for departures. The Osprey on the runway is just doing it properly, I think. Although I'm airborne now, so I can't see who it is or what's going on. Birdman says, yeah, he's also seen bad VNAV climbs. I wish Fenix would fix stuff. Is gear definitely up from external? Oh yeah, so the gear lever is up, and the gear is definitely up here.
Osprey 804, waiting for runway 28.
4 mins isn't that long though, Liam. When you think about it, because separation would be near to about 3 minutes when we arrive at Ohrid St. Apostle Airport, so 4 minutes is nothing really. Otherwise we could all stuff up our speeds and timings and spacings when we actually arrive at our destination, and it will then result in go-arounds.
Zurich traffic, Osprey 804, climbing up on runway 28, Zurich traffic.
Put all of the screenshots that I take throughout today's journey into Volanta. We get rid of the punters in the back. Let's go to managed speed. We get that nose down.
I'm Jet 0 for holding at Alpha 1. For runway 28. Behind the Swiss A320.
Zata says it can also result in another WestJet incident like in Yellowknife. Arc, interesting. Yeah, it seems like it had a preference there to fly to the constraint, not actually to the minimum clean speed, which is interesting. So we retracted our flaps, even though there was a speed constraint of 210 knots in that turn. We would have kept flaps 1 plus F out, but because we didn't, the aeroplane should have said, right, hold on, I can't fly this slow without flaps, therefore we fly to the green dot in the climb. I would have thought. I don't know, it might be long, might be wrong. Yoep did his first oceanic clearance over voice. Nice work. Oceanic can be fun with ATC. Gonna see if I can get position reports in. Enjoy it. Feels quite alien, doesn't it, doing position reports and flying oceanic and things, but Ron says, is your throttle in the climb to 10 because it's I think it's a little buggy. Yeah, we definitely have got it in the climb gate, thankfully. Otherwise, if we go back into the flight deck here,
I'm holding a Bravo 1.
that'd be flashing away at us. If I bring the throttle down away out of that now, let's see, here we go, we'll have managed thrust and then the warning to put the throttle into lever climb.
Zurich traffic, Osprey 1927, taxiing to runway 28 via Delta Hotel Bravo 1, Zurich traffic.
Working on my VATSIM tutorials again in partnership with VATSIM, so we're trying to create some shorts, very short 60-second snippets of information about little things, little tips and tricks to help, but also then created a number of, like a mini-series again, like I've done before with various aircraft and things like that, basically looking at creating a mini-series, so getting your clearance, looking at the basics of flight planning, and then speaking to controllers as well. So we did a flight the other day offline, on the VATSIM network, and I recorded my interactions with the controllers, and we discussed how to do it all as well, things to consider, and what certain instructions from controllers mean as well. So keep your eye out for that in the new year. We'll be releasing maybe 4, 5, 6 different episodes initially, and then we'll be working through re-recording those ILS approach videos that we've done in the past and all that sort of thing as well for VATSIM. Nick, hello, says, should I be worried about frames per second on the Fenix? I have an i5 9400 and a GTX 1650 GPU. I guess to get an idea of what your performance is at the moment, Nick, do you currently have Microsoft Flight Simulator? And if so, which aircraft do you fly and what frames do you tend to get on those? So for example, if you have the PMDG 737, what frames do you tend to get for that? If you've got the 737 from PMDG, you could probably take 5 to 10 frames per second off for the Fenix. I've said we've got a tailwind landing into Ohrid as well. How much of a tailwind? 3 knot tailwind. Okay, Nick, so you'll probably be looking at 25 frames per second with the Fenix, depending on what scenery and things you might be using as well, of course. Absim, which is the most scenic approach? Because we're configured for the ILS runway 01, of course, but interested to know what. Oh, actually, hold on. Are there any other approaches? Are they circling approaches? I'm not sure. I'm going to have a little look now. Can they do circling approaches into Ohrid? There's nothing published on the charts. So we look quite far ahead now into the flight, of course, but we're going to be configuring for this the ILS 01 approach into Ohrid. So over the coast and then in quite a scenic approach to the mountains and the hills behind. Interestingly, that's the missed approach procedure. So we have to draw a figure of 8 in the sky. It's a 3.2 degree rate of descent. There's nothing about the alternate runway 19. We've got ILS 01 or VOR 01. So the other one would be just a totally visual approach if we were to be given, for example, 19 on approach. Elevation 2313 is high altitude as well. 2,300 feet above sea level apparently. Very nice. It's going to be an interesting approach, I think. Very scenic. VATSIM suggestion for the route as well. Thank you to those of you who voted on it in Discord as well. I'm curious as to why the product pin in the live chat is showing that it's not available. It's interesting. Edit details. So I'm actually just logging into the actual eSoup design at the moment to have a little look. What primary settings I want per pounds. It's all still definitely available for you guys. Do they ever land on runway 19? There's a question. Here's our route. If we go on to Valanta, we're using Valanta's overlay as well today. So our departure out of Zurich, if we zoom in, we've avoided all this weather to the south of the airfield actually. We headed outbound, we did that little dogleg kink to intercept that radially out, and then we did a 180 turn back towards the field and then out, basically through the Alps, climbing away over Bregenz. We're off to Innsbruck actually, we're flying over Innsbruck in fact during our climb today. Might see it shortly, we'll look out for it. And then we're going to be routing over Slovenia, over Croatia, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Montenegro, a slice through Albanian airspace before we head into North Macedonia, and there is Lake Ohrid So we're going to be flying over the field, descending out over the lake, turning back on ourselves. It's going to be an interesting approach. It would be great to see this in the PMDG 737 actually, because it is hands-on on that. As Doc's saying, we'll be flying basically a teardrop approach. Daniel, it depends what your budget is entirely, to be honest. Here come the bumps. If we look down here, that's just absolutely stunning, isn't it? Oh look, there's a contrail from an aircraft who is literally on our nose somewhere. Yep, it's got position reports approved. Very nice. We've got an aircraft on our right hand side apparently. Higher up above us though. Can't see him. Maybe just out of range slightly. No, maybe we want number 9. Yeah, there's the contrails. FSLTL's contrails are now just so good. It's a good question, Birdman. I should be... I've not changed any settings, to be honest. I should be running it in GPU mode. Yeah, GPU mode. Display quality balanced. I might change it to performance. This is where the plane falls out the sky now, because I've hit a... Oh my god. Okay, we're back in. There's Innsbruck. Just down there, centre of the screen. I guarantee that's probably where that aircraft is flying into as well, perhaps. So, we'll see what we can get in by way of a screenshot here, shall we? Slice of Innsbruck down below. The epic approach that brings you in there through the valley. And I'll get whoever that is in a screenshot as well. We'll put that on Volanta. Let's dive back in. Grazza, hello! Yeah, it's a great looking sim, isn't it? They're making absolute strides with how good this looks. So we need to find out what aircraft that was. I believe it's... Yeah, they're flying into Innsbruck. It's Tomjet 6 Papa Charlie, Gatwick to Innsbruck in a Boeing 757-200. Behind him there's Easy 67 Yankee flying in as well in an A320. There's 2 on approach down below apparently. Maybe perhaps not all of them are in VATSIM of course, but they're down here somewhere flying along. Yeah, Rod, I know. I need to be reminded of that every day. Birdman, interesting that is. There's another. I mean, look at that contrail there. That's absolutely spectacular. Slicing across the sky. It just looks so realistic now, doesn't it? Incredible. Yeah, if I go to CPU mode in the Fenix, it's like it's basically like chopping and changing all the time. It's an absolute mess. So I tend not to do it too much. There's that Tomjet 757 going in. Brits, no, this is all just MSFS default. In fact, we zoom out. We've got one underneath with that contrail there, and then we've got one above. So if the contrails were there for long enough, we'd be slicing through it. We're just going to pass underneath it. I don't know if you guys can see that on your screens. We're literally flying just underneath the contrails there. Just here, you kind of see the texturing. There we are. Incredible. Innsbruck's always a good one, isn't it? We're only just at cruise. I'm trying to see which I keep repinning stuff, so I do apologise if it keeps popping up and refreshing on your screens in the chat, but I'm trying to see if it's actually working or not, but it looks like YouTube's being a bit funky again. Liam, you just departed, yeah? Ron, it's FSLTL. Which is free. You can download it on the fly-by-wire installer, which is even better. Doc got massive turbulence over the Alps yesterday. Usually it's quite bumpy, to be fair. Every flight I've done in real life over the Alps, we've had pretty brutal turbulence, so I mean, they look spectacular though today. The ad at the start of the stream, by the way, folks, that FS Academy advert, they've got 40% off, a little sale in the Microsoft Flight Simulator in-sim marketplace store. 40% off all of their products. Currently until the 4th of January 2023, when it will go back to full price again. So if you're looking to get that sort of thing, that sort of product, maybe for your sim, how to learn, learning VFR procedures and all that sort of thing, then you can get it for almost half price for just a few more days. Only 21 entries so far, so whoever's entered so far, your chance of winning is pretty high. Our next stream, so this is the last stream of 2022. Nice scenic approach to see the year off. And we are going to be then jumping into 2023. The next stream will be on the 1st of January 2023. And we're going to do a group flight on VATSIM, which is going to be fun. All the details are in our Discord server. The route is already generated as well. We're going to be flying from Glasgow Prestwick all the way down to Gibraltar for that tricky approach onto the rock. So it's going to be good fun. Very limited stands, but we'll see if we can fill it up. And throughout the stream, I'll be giving away 10 €5 Contrail gift card vouchers for 10 winners, basically, which is really cool. Absim saying Headwind are doing the A330-800 Neo now apparently as well. Awesome. And Automated said Headwind also starting to update the development version of the A330-900. They said in Discord the A321 Neo with Qubit is very early in development. Unfortunately, that's because Qubit over-promises and under-delivers. I remember 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, Qubit came out and said he was creating a 737. Created a Discord server, nothing actually happened at all, just loads of renders. Yeah, we overdue a flight in the Headwind A330, to be honest, as well. I promised them a flight in it a little while ago. Before they did that big update, they asked me to sort of preview it and tease people and get people hyped for it, but I forgot. And just a lot of things going on in my sort of home life that got in the way. Zato, no! Not good. What sim are you flying, by the way? Are you X-Plane still today, Zato? I won't be flying the A330 to Gibraltar, Liam. Way too big. Doc will hunt me down. VATSIM's going to try and squeeze in the conga line from Vienna. 40 miles to Wecken. And we're looking at our fuel on board 55.6. So if we go to our OFP. There we are, Wecken. 5.4 tonnes of fuel is what we want. We'll probably be just about bang on that, to be honest. I'll fly it another time, Liam, but won't be flying an A330 into VATSIM on Gibraltar's sort of flights or anything like that. Daniel's asking, will I be flying the Flyboy A380 regularly when that does get released? It's a long, 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 long way away yet, Daniel, so I'm purposely not even getting excited for it, because I would imagine that I would be surprised to see it be released at any point in 2023, to be totally frank. There's so much work to do on it, so much complexity as well. I remember flying on board XLEA with BA, one of the first crews to fly the A380. As I was cabin crew, not pilot, but I spent a lot of time in the flight deck on all the flights to and from Frankfurt for proving flights, and then across to Los Angeles. There's so much for them to code into it. I just don't. I can't see it coming out this side of summer at least. But when it does come, absolutely, one of my favourite aircraft. Still to this day, the quietest and most comfortable aircraft I've ever flown on, and the most impressive. So yeah, 100%. Really looking forward to it. Keen to see it in the sim. David, nice. Saying anyone flying later this evening, Vancouver will be fully staffed on VATSIM with centre, approach and 4 airfields all covered between 2100 and midnight Zulu time. Bitch, you guarantee there'll be people flying it into Innsbruck though. There'll be Innsbruck, Skiathos with an A380. We'll have to get the landscapers out to chop the trees down so it fits in. Drag the boat away from the harbour. Ian says he was talking with someone yesterday and said the sim has been very stable. It has for now, hasn't it? Touch wood, it stays that way. MG King saying the ATR will be great combined with the New Zealand World Update. Can't wait for that, that's going to be fantastic. It's already such a spectacular place in the sim to go and fly. And then you add an ATR, a nice high fidelity ATR into the mix as well from Hans. It's going to be really good. Those Air New Zealand Connect flights, what is it, Air New Zealand Link? One of them, I forget. Beckon 5.4, just about. We'll take it. If you've not entered the giveaway, we're re-rolling the Innerbuild's Nadi Airport scenery that we gave away the other day because the chap who won, fortunately, didn't claim it. So we're re-rolling it again for someone else to have a chance to win that copy of the Nadi Airport scenery by Innerbuilds for MSFS. All you've got to do is answer the question, what is the name of the new merchandise design on our merchandise store? The link, I mean, the answer is actually in the pinned message in the live chat now anyway, but almost halfway apparently. MPS Gaming is up in the 737-600. We have a look at this conga line. You got it, Doc. Good old screenshot update failed. Bloody thing. So there's our routing so far, and we are at Beckon there. So just tickling into Milan airspace for about 10 miles, 20 miles. Probably more than that, to be honest. And then into Slovenian airspace. If we zoom in, we've got Carlito, Osprey 784, Brits flying behind, Osprey 804, lots of traffic going into Innsbruck. Ian, Osprey 2472, followed by Liam Tomjet 094, or just Tomjet 904. I believe I fell for the zero trick. And we've got MPS Gaming down here somewhere. Got to try and track him down. There he is. Found him. LARQ to LWOH, Osprey 598. J1N, hello. So it's just the one included in that Swiss World Update by Asobo. So it's the freeware one that I think Gaia created for one of the World Updates, which is quite nice. Peter is to the right of your flight line. It's up here somewhere. Can't see you. New chair day for Fritz. He's got himself the awesome Next Level Racing Boeing cockpit seat that I've been enjoying for about a month now. And yeah, it's really quite nice. Having to climb in and out of it, get yourself in the zone for flying in the sim. It's quite cool. Chris, happy Christmas to you as well. Happy New Year to you and your family. Craig says, what are you using for VATSIM? I use VATMap, but it's not great. So I just use Volanta, but it has got delay for 2 minutes. Somebody mentioned yesterday VAT glasses, which is probably worth checking out. And there was another one that Ashley mentioned. No, actually no, that was VAT glasses, I think. Yeah, VAT glasses is quite good, but it's only select areas of the world. UK and Ireland, Germany, Hong Kong, Norway and South Africa. I think most people here use VATSPY, don't they? Which is a program you download and install. It's free. Matthew, oh no, damaged his landing gear on takeoff and crashed, can't catch a break today. How did you manage that? Have you got things like crash damage switched on, aircraft collision damage and all that in the MSFS menu? Because if you do, pro tip, turn it off. It causes more harm than good a lot of the time. So you can have a bit of a bumpy landing and then it will just tell you you've crashed and that's the end of your flight. Which is, yeah, there's nothing more frustrating than that. So if you've got anything like that active, just switch it off. I don't think I've had damage on since the sim was released. I remember landing the default A320 back in August 2020 and it was an absolutely fine landing, but I got that black screen and it said, is it like, you know, you have crashed or fatal damage occurred or something like that, which is strange. So I've switched it off all that time ago and I've never switched it back on since. Chris, yeah, Sim Toolkit Pro, that does have a VATSIM overlay as well. A lot of these feed the data in via a server, so most of them run at about 2 minute delay. VATSPY is probably your most accurate, most updated sort of mapping software of aircraft around you. David still uses that in the chat there. Chris saying, I noticed no armrests for the chair. Do you find that you're missing them? Not really, to be fair. I've got the side arms sort of connected, so I've got that keyboard arm on the left, I've got my mouse mat pad arm on the right, so I think with armrests in the way it would feel quite cramped maybe. And I don't even use the seatbelt, to be honest. I've just got them unlatched and out of the way behind the seat because yeah, I can't see myself ever using them really. I was tempted to take the seatbelts off actually, to be honest, and then just store them away in their box. Oh yeah, Matthew, just turn it off. It makes no noticeable difference, except for it doesn't allow the sim to tell you you've crashed by just rotating the aircraft. But yeah, we're just talking about that actually. It'll be very exciting. Hopefully we get to sort of preview that when that's nearer to the time of release. Mark, was that the Fenix? Oh no, it's FlyBois. There we go. Mark said flew the FlyBois A320X from Brussels to Gatwick the other day. When he disconnected the autopilot, it just rolled right and crashed. That's not good. Dirty 2's got the secret lab chair and had to remove the armrest because it gets in the way of the yoke. Yeah, I think it's one of those things you don't really need to worry about it, to be honest. You know what? I was looking at that base, the motion base Fritz, the other day. It's about £2,000, isn't it? Which is just mad money. But effectively, Next Level Racing, for those of you who don't know, the Boeing seat that I've got, they do a £2,000 add-on, which you can bolt onto the very base of the chair, and it then gives you motion in the seat. So if you are banking left, it will tilt the chair slightly left. Banking right, it will bank it slightly right, and so on and so forth. And it's also compatible with butt kicker, so you can stick a butt kicker underneath the seat. And through turbulence, it will be bouncing you around, which is just crazy. But you know, I'd imagine all of that plus VR would just be mind-blowing. But you'd need like a military spec PC to run all of that, I'd imagine. And then it would trigger the eject function, Liam, and it would chuck you out via the roof. Little daily reminder of the Fenix interior cabin. This is the default one. So the Edelweiss livery we've got today has got is basically from the Fenix livery manager. Not dropping the mad hints. Still not many entrants to win a copy, actually. Be breaking those seals for the bar. Yeah, it'd be great for people that like to build their own flight decks. Rab, hello to you, good afternoon. Yeah, you can add all of them later. Keep smashing the likes, folks, as well. Loads of you watching, 47 likes at the moment. Hopefully you're all enjoying the stream so far. Come and say hello in the chat if you've not done so already as well. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and answer that giveaway question for today. Re-rolling the Nuddy Airport scenery giveaway from 2 days ago because the winner didn't claim the prize. One thing that's probably worth discussing, and it's something I fall foul of myself, to be totally fair. Depending on where you're flying, you might have in the charts lots of information. You might have, well, here at Ohrid, there's not very much at all, to be totally honest. But if I go back to Zurich's charts, and we go to the reference tab on Navigraph, there's loads and loads of data. Tons of data. But sometimes at these large airports, you want to have a little look at these arrival procedures. So if you're flying in, some airports have a high intensity runway operations plan, or minimum runway occupancy plans in place. London Heathrow is one of them. Doha as well has got another one. But effectively you want to read through all of these because sometimes it might mention things like reverse thrust, more than idle reverse, shall not be used except for safety reasons. e.g. tailwind landings, wet or contaminated runway, and or required landing distance close to runway length. So at Zurich, if we were flying into Zurich today, we would have to try and calculate initially for using idle reverse, not full reverse. ILS approaches, it says there, a little tip as well. The descent should be arranged so as to maintain en route configuration as long as possible, considering safety and ATC requirements. Speed reduction and extension of landing gear and high lift devices, i.e. flaps, are to be planned in such a way that landing config is established and correct approach speed is reached shortly prior to or at just 4 nautical mile final, which is cutting it really fine. But you find flying into Zurich, it feels quite rushed because you, especially with ATC in an event, they're keeping your speeds quite high as long as possible. There we go. So Zurich has a section for minimum runway occupancy time. Some other parts of the world call it high intensity runway operations. So it says here, aircraft vacating the runway and you should not stop on the exit taxiway until the entire aircraft has passed the runway stop bar. To ensure minimum runway occupancy time, pilots are reminded to vacate the runway 14 via taxiway Hotel 1 whenever possible, except weight turbulence category heavy. So if you're in a 787-10 or a 747-8, this doesn't apply to you, the runway 14. So always read through these charts, because flying into Heathrow, they might want you to vacate at certain points. If we're flying into Zurich, as this chart is for our example today, then you need to make sure you kind of take note of these. So if we were landing on runway 14 today, we would have to try and plan to vacate at taxiway Hotel 1. If we can't, that's fine, but we need to try. If we're landing on runway 34, it says expedite, i.e. hurry up, to cross intersecting 21 to enable departures. Preferred exit via taxiway Echo 4 or later. And then you're only allowed to vacate via taxiway Echo 6 only with ATC clearance. So there's all these little rules and nuances and things like that for all these different airports around the world that you've got to try and consider. We look at, is it OTAH? There we go, Hamad International. Trying to find the charts. Gonna be in here somewhere. There we go, runway operations. So if you're flying into Doha, this chart, it talks about pilots planning their landing and rollout to target the rapid exit taxiways that provide for a safe and expeditious exit from the runway to reduce delays and maximise runway utilisation at all times. So if you're flying an A320 like we are today, we'd probably be looking to fly an approach with config flap 3 only, like we do when we fly into Heathrow. I will always configure for flap 3 at Heathrow. It means you're flying a slightly faster approach by a couple of knots, but actually you find then that you can carry enough speed onto the high speed exit, slow down and stop in time. And then at Doha it actually specifies specific taxiways, high speed exit taxiways, to vacate these specific runways at Doha. So always aim for those. Really, really good to know when you're flying events on the network as well, because it's ridiculously busy, and just one person not vacating at a high speed exit will trigger at least one go around. That's why this high intensity runway operations plan is all in place. If you didn't know that, hopefully that helped. But at Ohrid, it doesn't matter. We have to backtrack anyway. Rab's joining the giveaway. We've only got 24 entries, believe it or not. So whoever's entered today probably got the highest chance we've ever had of winning a prize. Chris says the Navigraph Awards 2022 Best Add-on category. It voted Navigraph itself. It was way down the list. People don't give it the credit it deserves, probably because they have to pay for it. Yeah, you're not far off wrong there, to be fair. outside of specific high fidelity aircraft, I think certainly if you're going to fly on VATSIM, Navigraph is almost, you know, it's a must-have purchase. Having those Navigraph charts and the Navigraph nav data installed, not only in the sim but on SimBrief, to keep it all up to date, makes the world of difference on VATSIM, and it makes your life a lot easier. Makes the controllers' lives a lot easier as well. Commentator, good afternoon. Yeah, we flew into Nandi Airport the other day in Fiji, but the person who won the giveaway didn't claim the prize, unfortunately. So we're re-rolling the giveaway today to re-draw a winner, and the winner will win that copy of Anybuild's Nandi Airports for MSFS. When we were talking about the approach earlier on today, we can look at the approach charts for the ILS runway 01. We've got a 3-knot tailwind. So if we go back here, it's a 4-knot tailwind now, looking at the little amber arrow, showing a 3-knot crosswind and a 4-knot tailwind component for approach into St. Paul the Apostle, Ohrid, North Macedonia. But anyway, we're flying in via the IZD NDB, is Deglavje NDB. Flying south over the runway, basically. We're going to fly over the runway at 6,500 feet. Airport elevation is 2,300 feet, basically. Hence the altitude being so high. We're going to overfly the airfield, and then we're going to turn at the middle marker. That's what that MM is. That middle marker, we're going to head south 176 degrees to 8.2 DME. And at that point, we can follow this. So VOR 6,500 feet. We'll begin our descent 176 degrees down to 8.2 DME, where we need to be at 4,300 feet. We could probably get away with 4,100 feet, to be fair. So we could argue that in that turn, 8.2 DME, we can continue our descent down to 4,100 feet. We need to be level at 4,100 feet by 5.4 DME from OHR, which is that little triangle there on the approach path. And that's tracking the Ohrid VOR 112.5. And then we're on a glide slope, 3.2 degrees for the ILS inbound runway 01. Our minimums today, we're a Category C aircraft. Our minimums are 3,357 feet, or using the RADALT for height above ground level, 1,073 feet above ground level. So really high minimums today. And looking at the charts, we've got lots of terrain surrounding us as well. So we've got peaks of 5,902 there at the bottom of the chart, the little black dot there with the height for that peak on the hills, the mountains around the airfield, and then you can see the contours of the land going up 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 feet. So we've got really high terrain to the east of the airfield, northeast of the airfield, going up beyond 6,000 feet, and there's a peak near to our descent path actually of 4,042 feet there to be wary of. Similarly the other side, so looking at the north of the field, northwest, peak of 4,360. Terrain going up actually, where this cross section, this is not helpful. So this little cross section here, showing you the IZD hold and the NDB, is actually blocking some terrain there. We can see it's this dark brown, so a little clue. Interestingly, it's not on the chart. Usually you'll have a gradient. Yeah, usually you'll have some sort of gradient somewhere that will show you roughly what to expect, but we can assume it's going to be 5,000 to 6,000 feet. So So we're going to be flying through a little valley basically, and then we've got mega terrain to the west, upwards of 7,000 feet to the mountains to the west of the airfield, so it's quite tight. I wonder, we're at LTIP now, let's keep going down, there we are. I wonder if we go to VFR, we zoom in on Navigraph, yeah, we're actually flying in through this valley, so descending down on the Mavar 1 arrival to IZD, 6,500 feet heading south through this valley. You can see the little gap that we'll be flying through. Over the airfield, descending down to 4,100 feet. We come back round for the ILS. And then we're going to fly that approach into 01. And yeah, we've got lots of terrain around the airfield there. All the way around the airfield, in fact. Interesting. Never flown into this airfield before. Not sure what to expect. So we just have to brief ourselves with all the information on the charts. The star, I'll show you guys, is not very helpful. It's basically that. Mavar, IZD. 11,000 feet at IZD. And then on to the ILS. Interestingly there though, it's got the hold minimum's 8,000, so I think I might target that perhaps. We'll see what the VNAV says in the aeroplane. Not too far to go actually, it's loading it all in already. Let's pop it in. Flight plan. There's our approach. Mavar to a flight of 200. Over the field at 7,671 feet. So that's not correct. It should be 6,500. $6,500. 4-3. 4-1 from final. That looks a bit better. Yeah, hopefully we get really nice weather. Mohammed, welcome aboard. Thanks for subscribing. Earlier on as well, Ariel and Omar and Wolfie Hub and Yellow John, welcome folks. Great to have you all on board with us. Some new subscribers for today and over 100 watching, so welcome if you have just tuned in. .9 is the ILS frequency, and that's tuned in there nice and correct. We can see the 3-letter identifier, so if we bring the charts back up a little bit, always check in the RadNav page in an Airbus that it's correct. 108.9, that's fine. 3-letter code of MOH. Now interestingly, with the slope, well, we're happy with the slope because it is a downhill landing, which means our feet per minute rating on touchdown is going to be higher, but it's because we're flying downhill, we're landing downhill on the runway. Naturally therefore our rate of descent will be slightly higher because we're having to descend with the terrain basically. But interestingly the course F013, the charts say 014, so we can change that. What was the minus on the slope? 3.2. Bugger off. There we go. Let's try. Alright. We'll just leave that as it is. Can't be dealing with it. We can tune the IZD and ADF 3432. Let's pop it into ADF 2. We should like to think the aircraft will pre-tune as we get a bit closer. The Ohrid VOR 112.5 as well. If not, we'll have to tune that ourselves. An important thing with this is making sure we've briefed ourselves on the missed approach procedures as well, because if it goes wrong, it will go wrong really quickly. And effectively the go around here would be to turn left, climbing turn, all the way to 8,000 feet. It's a continuous climb until reaching 8,000. Climb straight ahead at 3,600, but not before the middle marker. Turn left, max 160 knots onto heading 141 to intercept and follow the radials 171 OHR outbound. So that's telling us to climb to 8,000 feet. We'll be doing a climbing turn with the maximum speed of 160 knots. Out 141 degrees, and then we're going to intercept that radial of 171 outbound from the OHR VOR. So it's that little grey arrow, 171. We'll intercept that, fly out to 10 DME before turning back on ourselves, flying over the top of the approach, over the airfield to IZD, and then we go back into the hold. At 10 DME, again it's a max 160 knot turn, again because of probably all of the terrain around the airfield. So that's going to mean we're going to have to fly slow. And for some reason the Navigraph screen's clicked. There we go. Let me move that to there. Next time I show you the Navigraph screen. Always RAB. Always got to expect the go around. RAB put the METAR actually in for Ohrid. We've got a long way to go still really, but I'm not expecting it to change significantly. Doc says he's flown this approach once, can guarantee you it's very scenic. You can see other traffic on the approach below you and above you later. That's does sound really nice. Matthew's off the ground from Zurich. Sif says, imagine trying to get British Avgeek to fly to Ohrid for almost 2 years, and today is the day. Get in, bloody ripper. What do we got here? Let's. We were talking about METAR, weren't we? So the winds at the moment are 150 degrees at 5 knots. So we've got quite the tailwind actually. We're almost at the limits of the tailwind before we need to just hand fly visual approach for runway 19. Perhaps. All the nines, few clouds at 2,000, scattered cloud 3,300. 08 degrees for the temperature and the dew point +4, and a QNH high pressure, QNH 1026. Now what we can do, that is a filthy tablet, good grief. We can go into the landing performance calculations. At runway 02. There's the METAR that we just spoke about. Although that's slightly out of date, actually saying 1203. One of them's more accurate, VATSIM or this one, I'm not sure which. QNH 1026. Landing weight, we can get the estimate landing weight from our SimBrief OFP, 61.1 tonnes. We'll go for medium auto brake just to see what it gives us on the calculation with max reverse and full flap. And runway dry. Loads of room. Actually that means we might be able to stop without having to backtrack. That'll be a result. Happy days. Match egg, no, it's not the Osprey Ops notepad. What's the latest design? The clue is in the pinned message. Latest name of design. Flex is Volanta. We did refresh it, Doc. Refresh it again. There we go. Still the same. Liam's just going straight in. You've got to do a teardrop procedure, surely. Give it a go. Worst that could happen is you crash, but it's only a simulator, it doesn't matter. The key thing is if you try your best, that's all we can ask. MPS Gaming is south of Split, another really nice location to fly into and out of. The coastline of this part of the world anyway, Split, Dubrovnik, all the way down to the Greek coast, absolutely spectacular approaches in a lot of destinations, so it is a stunning part of the world to fly around in, and one of my favourites in fact. You guys know I love Greece and the Greek islands in the sim. We've not been actually for quite some time to any of the Greek islands, so perhaps we might need to fire that one of those flights back up. Matthew says, I was in Zurich so long a storm rolled in and it started raining and took off into the pea soup. Very nice. Good hint. Matthew, hello. Tips on a crosswind takeoff. I just got my first set of rudder pedals, turned off auto rudder, and now I end up very wonky. Do you mean the auto rudder in the sim assist menu? Because if you have, that's great. What you need, one of the big rules is look at, every time you line up, have a look at the wind. Try and visualise how that wind is going to be crossing over the runway. So if you're sat on the runway and you, I don't know, you wet your finger, you stick your finger in the air, where's that wind going to hit your finger from? You know, the old wet your finger trick and hold it up into the air to try and get the wind direction. And then look at the windsock as well. So every time I line up, I'm looking for the windsock, and that's showing you a display of where the aircraft is moving across the runway. So if you're facing the runway straight ahead, we go back into the flight deck. If you're looking out of the window and you've got a windsock over here somewhere on the left, and you can see that the windsock is indicating the wind is blowing left to right across the aircraft. During takeoff, you want to make sure your aileron is deflected a bit into wind. So you'll go left aileron to counter that wind. So when you rotate and you've got your rudder pedals in play and you've got your aileron in play, you try and keep the aircraft nice and balanced. When you take off and you haven't corrected the aileron to counter that rudder input, your yaw then triggers roll, which is when you get quite rocky and bumpy and unstable. The gustier the wind and the harder the crosswind, the harder that is. But the more and more you practice, the better you get at it. And similarly, I mean, you'll see in one of my videos I'm going to have coming out for a VATSIM tutorials coming soon. I flew into Heathrow yesterday in the storm as part of the tutorial. It was probably the bumpiest, most brutal landing I've ever experienced or seen, but also then therefore by contrast one of the best landing ratings I've ever had, weirdly enough, but it didn't look smooth. As long as it's safe, it's all that matters, and we maintained that centre line. We fought to try and keep on that centre line. We had gusty crosswinds of over sort of 20 knots at one point. Deep hello to you. Got a question? Me and my friend have started VATSIM today. Nice. And installed AIG model matching files, but the problem is we both see each other in a white livery only. What's your call sign? It depends on the call sign. You've got to make sure, Deep, that you've got the airline liveries and models installed that you're actually using. And if you both have, then you should be able to see each other correctly with it. The SA-09. What airline is that? Don't recognise the ICAO code for that one. That's it, Matthew. Yeah, so you remember taking off out of 27 left out of Heathrow yesterday, you would have had with the wind coming in from the left, wouldn't you? Across the aircraft. So you wanted to have that aileron left into wind. Awesome, yeah. Weirdly enough, that pretty much is what came up on Google when I just typed it in. MPS Gaming with a decoded meta. Yes, so Deep, you have to have a realistic call sign, one that AIG recognises and has inside the model matching files, basically. If it's a random, I don't know, 2 or 3 letters, so ABC09, it's not going to necessarily match to any airlines, and therefore you'll just display as a white aircraft, probably. Blown up, hello, we are flying the Fenix A320. Brit says off topic, but did you move your Toby for the Boeing seat? No, I had to recalibrate it just to make sure that it picked up my new eye position, because the seat now is a little bit further back, but otherwise no other tweaks. Clayton, hello, runway 01, doing a teardrop ILS approach. Tussy did his 3rd and 4th VATSIM flight yesterday in the Boeing 737-800, and it turned out great. Good work. Yeah, Deep, so if you're flying British Airways, your 3-letter code will most likely be Bravo Alpha Whiskey, BAW, unless you're flying the domestic routes, in which case you'll be flying with the call sign Shuttle. Heathrow to Edinburgh, for example, with British Airways operates under the Shuttle call sign. Then your 3-letter code would be SHT. AIG can find that, same with EasyJet, TUI, if you're using their correct ICAO codes. If you've got an airline specifically that you're looking for, Deep, let us know in the chat, we'll give you the 3-letter code. The more the merrier. Hello, when you are doing VATSIM tutorials, will you be giving VFR ops some love? I find that really interesting. My current perception is that almost nobody is flying VFR on VATSIM. Yeah, you're not wrong. It's one of those things that's just incredibly complicated at the best of times. In the UK more so than in the States. In the States it's a lot more unrestricted and deregulated, but in the UK flying VFR is just a pain in the backside, even in real life. So in VATSIM it's twice as difficult, which is why people don't really bother that much. Yeah, very quiet airport, Rab. Tiny airport. AR Simulations, welcome. If you are just tuning in, we are re-rolling that Nandi Airport scenery for mini builds from the other day, that giveaway we rolled the other day, and that is because the winner the other day didn't claim the prize. So all you got to do is answer the question, what is the name of the new merchandise design that we've got in our merchandise store. The clue is in the pinned messages. 1026, let's get the destination data put in. 1026, 07 degrees. We'll leave that as it is. Transition level, flight level 110. Is that actually, it will be flight level 120. It's going to want me to put 12 in, isn't it? No, that's fine. And Barrow 3357. Done. Somebody was asking earlier about aircraft categories, type codes. So how do you know if you're a Category B, Category C, Category D aircraft? It all comes down to your approach speed. The easiest way you can explain it is to just throw in to Google aircraft weight categories. I think. Let me have a little look. Oh, is that big? I hope not. Approach speed categorization. There we go. So this is what we want. Approach speed categorization. This is how you work out if you've got a category A, B, C or D aircraft, or E if you have special military superjets. And it gets quite complex basically, but if typically if you're a category A aircraft, your approach speed is going to be below 91 knots roughly. You'll be a small single engine aeroplane like a PA-28. Category B, you're a small multi-engine aircraft, so you might be a DA-62 with 2 props. Category C aircraft is an airline jet. Most of them fall into this category, certainly these small single aisle jets, most of them are Category C aircraft. And then when you get to Category D for the wake turbulence, or the approach speed category, sorry, Category D aircraft tend to be military jets or large jets, so Boeing 747-8, 787-10, that sort of thing, big jets, and that has approach speeds that range up to 185 knots. But Google it and it will ping up and you'll be able to see what it will, you'll be able to find it all on Skybury. Perfect. Good to see it's working. Enjoy. AR simulations, I am, yeah. Magic, today we are Category C, yes. We're 60 miles to Mavar, but we're 20 miles to top of descent now. So we've got our destination data, everything input. We might as well set the auto brake now as well because we'll be on our way in any minute. That's on automatic still. Might as well stick it just on properly. Lights and signs are all set as required for now. As we get towards the cloud, we will put the seatbelt signs on. Absim says the odds of a go-around happening, but the bookies are 2 to 9. What do we want? 8,000, that's what we'll set. To be fair, if we're on Unicon, we could in theory just set 4,100 and just let it go all the way down. They're in Albanian airspace now. really doesn't want to upload that cockpit image of the Alps onto Volanta for some reason. We're too high in there. You know what? For those of you flying along today, have you read Unicom in V-Pilot? Good grief. Basically somebody said Happy New Year, because they must have ticked into the new year for them, wherever they are in the world, near to Australia, New Zealand, that sort of thing. Or at least, well, actually no, that's stupid, because it's the 29th of December. Oh, let me put my brain back in, hold on. But somebody is obviously looking forward to it. They've wished everybody well anyway on the Unicom, and they've said Happy New Year everybody, and then instantly somebody's just exploded into, I will write to admin. And then it's just become an argument on there. I don't know, ridiculous, I haven't got time for that. Top of descent. Down we go. Before I embarrass myself again with a stupid comment. Oh dear. Oh dear, whoops. Right, anyway. MPS game, my speed's max 7.8. One of the comments in that argument is first day after 3 years without VATSIM and people start trolling on Unicom. God, I missed this place. One of our guys replied as well, Osprey 784, Happy New Year, to the Lufthansa that was wishing everyone a Happy New Year. And then it's just, oh dear. What is your problem? Unbelievable. ETA? No idea. Does the Volanta unit, the overlay, give you an ETA? I can't see it on my screen, so I don't know. The night shifts are definitely taking a toll. I'm doing extra night shifts. I'm working New Year's. I'm doing the night shifts on the 2nd of January as well. Bit of double time. Oh look, Fenix in there. Incredibly steep descent again of 4,000 feet per minute. Yay. But top of descent, oh sorry, bottom of descent is there. That looks pretty reasonable. We'll let it do its thing. We'll see what it does. It looks pretty bang on, to be honest. I would maybe have liked to see top of descent being calculated a little earlier for, you know, a much less steeper descent. 1512, nice one. Adam's asking, do you think it's worth it to get GSX? I really like it. You have to get around and understand its quirks. You have to see and understand how it all works, but beyond that, it's a fantastic bit of kit, and it does offer a lot of extra immersion. When we get to Ohrid, we haven't got a GSX profile for it installed, I don't think. We'll just see what happens when we try and disembark passengers anyway. Liam, landing altitude, it's on the charts. Do you not have any charts? 2,296 feet, so 2,300 for your landing pressurization panel in the 737. Yes, like them eating lunch, Dirty too, like some deep chewers. Daniel, not really much, to be honest. I've not noticed significant decreases in performance. Sometimes, all of a sudden, for no reason, performance just warps down to a slideshow for a couple of seconds with GSX. I think that's maybe where it's trying to work it all out, but who knows. 36 isn't that much of a high cost index, is it, Doc? Robbie says, do you find it a bit of a pain getting into and out of your Boeing seat? I've got the keyboard mount on mine, and it's a pain to get in and out of. So I've got the keyboard mount on the left, and then I've got the mouse mount on the right, and then I've got my Turtle Beach compatibility kit in the centre at the top, basically. So I do have to step in and out of it. It is a bit of a pain, but then in real life, pilots have to do the same as well. My biggest tip is reach down, grab the little lever under the seat, and slide it back as far back as you want as it can go, basically, and that will allow you to get in and out a little easier. Hi Fly Sim Pilot, welcome. Clouds are looking pretty fab, aren't they? And Rab is saying there the weather in the sim is so good now. Adam's got the TCA Airbus for Christmas, very nice present, but can't really fly the 737. Do you mean with it, or? Sure you can. Nick flew to Ohrid the other day in the A310. It's okay over the lake. Unsure if you can see my post due to your membership status. I can read the comment. Not sure what you mean. Ooh, what's happened to drone camera? Birdman, it's in a short that I've done on YouTube and on Instagram actually. Let's have a little look at that. If you want the actual overall look of the setup, but if not, I can do another picture and stick it into Discord if you wish. Well, drone camera skills have deteriorated over the week. Too much gin and red wine and cheese. Ah no, I can still see it, Nick. All good. Peter, hello to you. Welcome. Last flight of the year indeed, with a really nice scenic approach over the lake. Nice teardrop onto an ILS. Yeah, it's quite the different stock actually. I think most people struggle with the TCA yokes, to be honest, Adam, on a lot of aircraft, including the fly-by-wire A320, which is crazy. George, head to our website, britishavgeek.com/liveries, and you can find all of our Osprey liveries, various websites for MSFS and X-Plane on that website there. And it will link you to the relevant places basically by clicking on those pictured thumbnails. 16,000. It's British Av Geek, Adam. Top descent's looking okay, actually, to be fair, the rate of descent, but if you look, it looks like we're getting low quite quick. Bearing in mind we can't see the airport yet, we're at 15,000, 16,000 feet. I'm keeping an eye on this, I don't want to descend too quickly. Yeah, certainly down that way is a little bit of piece soup, but look how incredible that view is. So we're in for a nice sunset arrival into Ohrid as well, perhaps. J1N, got a question regarding landing rate monitor. How do I get the overlay inside MSFS? There's tips pop up because I only got my landing rate inside the program itself. You need to go to the menu, so press escape, go to assistant options, and then I think is it user experience. It's an option called software tooltips that you want to turn on. Standard pressure, oh Christ, it's high pressure, isn't it? 1026. .026. Ohrid traffic, Edelweiss 416 is 1,100 feet, descending for 8,000 inbound the ILS-01, approaching from the north of the field via India Zulu Delta, currently 5 track miles north of that NDB. Ohrid traffic. Ika, Michelle, hello to you. No, I haven't. It doesn't interest me that much, to be honest, because frankly, as Matthew said, I feel like they dropped the ball. It just looks like X-Plane 11 with puddles, which I think is a bit of a joke for what they're calling a brand new sim, and then they're charging people for it. Blown up, yeah, that's the one. Birdman says, I've had Fenix completely ignore constraints many times on the VNAV descent. Interesting. Now you'll notice here it's gone below 10,000 on the VNAV and busted through the speed at 10,000. So that decel point, the little magenta bug there, completely ignored it. Interesting, isn't it? Because it just makes it look rocky. And there's our first view of Ohrid. The tiny little airport over the lake. Which is interesting because now I actually want our speed to come right down towards the green dot. So we'll activate approach phase early. Train mode doesn't do anything. Brits, absolutely. It reminds me why that is still my preference of aircraft all the time. This is just buggy, problematic. To be honest, it's a pain in the backside at times. Some of the things for what is a payware aircraft just does my nut in. And it doesn't, you know, some of these bugs don't happen in the PMDG. And I still think it is all because they run the simulation outside the sim in their little program. Get the speed brake arms, lights and signs, and we'll get the crew in the seats. Let's get rid of the music. So now it's time for business. So flaps 1 at the minute, because that will help us reduce our speed down towards 5,000. Not 5,000. 180. Definitely those night shifts are really getting to me. Here's the airfields. Look at those farms below, it's just spectacular. Stunning. Ohrid traffic, Edelweiss 416 is transitioning over the field outbound on the teardrop approach. We'll report establishing. Yeah, Doc, there is that as well. The PMTG loses or gains 100 foot when changing speed. I've noticed it started to balloon as well when you're established on the ILS.
Traffic control, spray 598 inbound. Eastbound 11 nautical miles at flight level 10,000 feet.
180. That's a nice view. What we got at the wings here? Oh, look at that. Spectacular. Rab's only ever worked a night shift once, fell asleep.
1,500.
Easily done. Okay, that's going to help manage the speed a little bit better.
Osprey 598,
Look at that.
Speed 240 knots.
MG King knows it won't actually let me put a slope in anymore. I've changed the course, but it's fine. Just make do. We'll go flat 2. Below the glide slope now. Ooh, look at that little float. And we've got our landing memos. This is spectacular. Great shout, VATSIM. Beautiful route. Oh, absolutely spectacular. Very cool. 3-4 gives us 30 degrees. Bring that speed to 160. Get the ILS fired up, LS is on.
Ohrid controllers by 598.
There's the airfield.
Heading 194, speed to
Ooh, Liam, that's not good.
0 knots.
Adam, this is one of them. Certainly as well, the Greek islands are just spectacular as well. Really nice.
Osprey 598
quite
up
nicely.
to 8,000 feet, speed 200.
Approach mode active. This is really nice. Go full flat. Ohrid traffic, Edelweiss 416 is established. ILS runway 01, approximately 10 miles. Direction 8 miles, Ohrid traffic. We're going to set 8,000 ready in case of a missed approach. We're going to get autopilot 2 engaged. Flaps full, green, landing gear. Let's go gear down. There's a couple of guys above.
Osprey 598, heading 170.
This is what VATSIM was saying. You got a couple of aircraft flying in as well. Look at the contrail, high altitude contrail up there as well. It's just spectacular. Paro's a great one, yeah. Skiathos is still my favourite. Let's help that speed go down. Liam, that's not good. You've had a crash to desktop. Have a little look around what scenery you might have in the area to see if there's something that might be out of date or not really working that well. Okay, Ecomemo's no blue. Let's hand fly it in, shall we? (3,400 feet). Skiathos is great. Mykonos is fantastic. There's one. And we've got another one up here as well, just coming into view, just where the cursor is.
1,000.
What an approach. Bit of a tailwind for us, showing a 11 knot tailwind, which is pretty mad. I think on the ground it's going to be a lot less. What it does mean is we're getting pushed towards the runway. We have to bear that in mind on the approach.
500.
We're going to see some spectacular fly-ins at sunset then, for the next few aircraft flying in. What's going to be the landing rating, folks? Quickly throw it in the chat. Hoping for about 300 foot per minute with a downhill approach.
Ohrid controller, Spy 598, heading 190, descent to 4,300.
20. Retard. 5.
Speed.
Oh yeah.
210.
Decel, reverse green. Oh look, the Fenix bug with no reversers. Max brakes. That is so bloody annoying as well. Better turn the brake fan on. All the trucks. I've still got reverse green. They're just stuck in idle. That is not on. Ohrid traffic, Edelweiss 416 has vacated 01, taxi to stands. Keep it rolling. Get strobes off, runway turn off lights on, nose wheel lights off. Start APU. GS. No. Oh well. Don't know who that is in the white jet. Come on, QATL. Adam, have a good flight. Literally says QATL airport cache loaded successfully. There we go. One suitable parking. Ramp 11, no idea what that is. We'll do 6.
The chosen position is 2.
Ohrid controller, Osprey 598.
No, it is a known bug.
Right to 280 for ILS.
Max turn. Wizzy Woo is doing the ground handling for us.
Osprey 804, right on top of India Zulu Delta, heading 197.
No, Marshaller. He's in the building somewhere, I reckon.
Ohrid traffic.
Marshal ourselves.
4 at 4,000, tracking 176.
But help if I got rid of the flaps. Absolute cowboy. Who needs a marshaller? Done it ourselves.
Ohrid traffic, Osprey 2472, Type A320, descending through 1,000, through flight level 171 for 8,000, inbound India Zulu Delta NDB, expect the ILS, teardrop approach, runway 01. Ohrid traffic.
What have we got here then?
This parking is too small for your
E-boarding.
boarding requested.
Yes, Rab, yeah, it's Ohrid from Orbex.
598 on final approach, ILS, runway 10.
Okay, that's going to do its thing. Begin the turnaround process. We're going to quickly zip around to capture some of these guys landing. Look at that for a view. Lots of flights inbound now. Looks like we're going to have a nighttime one as well. Nothing more annoying than landing in a Fenix A320, activating your reversers and having reverse idle. That's just so frustrating now. It's something that they've had going on for quite a few months now, and they don't seem to have bothered to fix it. Should we draw that winner? It's off. Oh wait, good shout. Yeah, thought I turned it off. Good spot. Time for a bit of Ohrid plane spotting. Should we draw the winner? We've got 31 entries this time. Madness. The answer, of course, was Pea Soup, our new merch design stuff. The new merchandise design is actually called Pea Soup.
Traffic, Osprey 784, turning to line up for LS 101.
Good luck to everybody who's taken part. And the winner is
Osprey 598 on short final runway 01. Landing.
Chris Loach. In the live chat, hopefully still. Congratulations to you. You've won that re-rolled copy of the Inibuild's new Nandi Airport scenery for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Different Chris Matchek. Make sure you contact me. What the hell happened there? Where'd the mountains go? Make sure you contact me on Discord directly or via email britishAvGeek1@gmail.com to claim your prize. Again, you've got 24 hours like the last guy who won to claim. Please do, otherwise it will be re-rolled again in another giveaway. The heck, the mountains keep going. Oh, look at that. Nice. Bit of a crosswind, you can see the windsock there. Good job. 737-600. Grisen, as it is known in Sweden. Grisen, Swedish for pig. Or VH Dink. Dinky Jet, as we call it at Osprey Airways.
Runway 01.
I was going to call it the Spunky Jet, but I thought I can't really call it that, to be honest, because it flies with a lot of spunk, as in energy.
Osprey 598, taxi to gate.
Anyone got a spade?
Traffic Osprey 2472.
A baby Boeing.
Airfield, expecting teardrop ILS runway 01. Ohrid traffic.
Brandon, yeah, we've got Turtle Beach Velocity 1 throttles, and basically it always worked until 2 updates of the Fenix ago, and then it just stopped. But lots of people reporting a similar problem over on the Fenix Discord. Right, there we go. Screenshotted Chris's entries. Haven't seen him in the live chat though.
Osprey 804 on final for
Chris Loach, are you there?
Ohrid traffic.
Let me turn off the question ticker as well, the timer.
Ohrid traffic, Osprey 784, 5 mile final.
There he is. Congratulations, Chris, you won. Let me bring the time back a little bit. Choose my little wheel. Roll the time back a tiny bit. Congratulations, thanks for entering. Gonna play around with the drone camera. Get that speed up. It's a bit better. Yeah, much smoother. There's that touchdown zone. There's two very close together. See, if I was that aircraft on number 2 in final, in fact there's one above him as well, flashing away.
Tomcat 094 reconnected.
And there's one flying in. So I would be extending, I'd basically just go around and try and fit in behind this one. Yeah, Chris, contact me on Discord directly or via email and we'll get you that copy sorted. Courtesy of the folks at Ini Builds. Oh my god, they're very close. 10 blown up, I think. It is Speedy Gonzalez inbound for max brakes. We've got the Osprey engineers ready to go for some replacement pads. This is looking great. No GSX, you're in the way. Spectacular, look at that. Great touchdown.
Osprey 804 going around.
Awesome. Got to go around. Just pan back round. There he goes. Toga Toga. It's in the Boeing 737. That's gear up, flap 15. Got one over him as well. So he should be flying left now, doing that little teardrop procedure. He's got his hands full in the 737, but there he goes, illuminated in that sunset. Flying that teardrop, or that figure of 8 actually is probably the best way to describe it. And we'll zip back round. How long are you going to watch the rivals for? How many more have we got to come in sequence? We'll try and watch as many people as we can flying.
Okay, traffic, Osprey 784 vacated. Sorry, floated a little bit too long.
Ah, that was fine. It looked great my end. There is the tiny airport terminal building. It's an Orbeck scenery. To be honest, it's a little bit meh. I paid for it, it's £9 something. And yeah, £9 for that. Bearing in mind there's no... you would kind of expect an interior of the terminal. We'll have a little look here. You'd kind of expect an interior of the tower at the very least. But look, it's just nothing. It's a nice exterior. But yeah, the glass is really nasty. The tower has got horrible textures on it. For 10 quid, I think they could have done a lot better. I actually think it's not worth the money at all, to be quite frank. I guess I suppose the flip of that, if you were to spin it into a positive thing, you're flying into a spectacularly wonderful airport with a very, very scenic approach, as we've just seen. We've got 2 on final. And if you could see it on your screens, one where the cursor is there, just establishing now on the ILS, and there's another one flying outbound. Cornelius, welcome. Blown up, it's great, isn't it? Look at those clouds. There's the go around. going to pop into view any minute. MPS Gaming bought it on sale. 32, I'd expect better freeware than that. Yeah, £9.99 I think it was. Let me find out. There we go, found it. Yeah, I purchased it for today. 15 Australian dollars, 1573. 1573 AUD in GBP. There you go, £8.83. We'll call it £9. Not worth that at all. Apparently, according to the marketing text, Orbex say this has super accurate, detailed modelling of all airport assets, textured with ultra high resolution textures, giving you the most impressive stay while you are in Ohrid. Nonsense marketing spiel. This isn't bloody FSX graphics. Ah, Christopher, gutted. Hope you are not too unwell. Hope you're okay. Daniel's asking, will you ever go to Cornus? Where's that? Exactly, it's barely better than the default. All for the price of £9. Explosive. Oh, that's not good. Touchdown.
Ohrid traffic with Zurich at
Sounds like VATSIM's inbound.
Icon, 7 mile final.
Those of you looking for really nice scenery, Contrail have got really good options as well. And they've also begun a loyalty scheme too, so you can go earn Contrail rewards for everything you buy. Look at that, managed to vacate nice and quick as well. Like a pro. MK Studios are really frustrating, to be honest. I'm getting quite frustrated with MK Studios with the fact that they are unable to update Dublin to stop the crash to desktops. They need to pull the finger out. It's the only scenery I've purchased from them actually. At that and Rovaniemi, and they made Keflavik as well, I think. So I've got I've purchased 3 of their sceneries, MK Studios, and all of them are quite underwhelming. The Rovaniemi payware, there is no noticeable difference to the freeware version for Rovaniemi. So you're better off just downloading the freeware branch instead, the freeware version on flightsim.to.
Final approach for Ohrid runway 01, Ohrid traffic.
Lithuania. Awesome, yeah. Is there a scenery for Kaunas in Lithuania? If so, let's do it at some point in the new year. I also must fly for Fly UK in the next week, or my account will be completely deleted. So I need you guys who are our channel members, bronze, silver, gold, frequent flyers. I need your help in Discord, in the lounge, in that route vote section, to basically help find a suitably wonderful Fly UK route somewhere in the world for us to go and fly. Yeah, Dursey 2, yeah, their Keflavik's pretty crap. Their Dublin causes me crash to desktops if I go anywhere near it. Really annoying. But MK Studios, I don't think have acknowledged that there might be a problem. Twin Otter Ops in Canada or Scotland, David says. That could be fun. Here's a question.
Final, approximately about 7 mile final for runway 01 Ohrid traffic.
Do Fly UK use 737-900s? That looked like a threshold touchdown there, VATSIM. Paying for the whole runway, using the whole runway. Badger, damn it. Need to get one in before the 737-900 touches down then. And yeah, I flew the Fly UK yesterday, Edinburgh to Heathrow, and for the third time in as many months, I forgot to enable Skytrack, didn't I? So I cocked that ride up, and I ended up flying for an hour and a half, and literally no reason at all, except for, well, I recorded our tutorials and stuff, which is good, but... There's somebody in the lake over there. Lots inbound, I can see 3 aircraft.
Vacated 01 with Zurich LSZH.
No, blown up. I wish. That would be great. I do love the 737. Can't wait for the 900. It's going to be really good fun. Here's Liam in his 2E 737-800 split scimitar wing MDG jet. Still a crosswind. Look, there's the windsock. Nice touchdown. Good job. Filling up the stance. See if he can get off in time for Bravo. He has. He's off. He's good.
Ohrid traffic, motor 3458 miles minimum of speed.
That was strike fun. Yeah, the PMDG 737 Max would be great.
Comjet 094, that again. Vacated at Bravo.
With tail strike protection for the Osprey option. We do need tail strike protection for the 900, absolutely. Osprey 804 inbound. Fritz, I think. Adam, no news for the PMDG 737 EFB yet. So, well, the 737, no, sorry, the PMDG Universal Flight Tablet, I think it's called, isn't it? To give it its correct title. Oh, look at that. Wonderful touchdown. Right on the touchdown zone, on the centre line. Very nice. I do love our livery. I wish it was a real airline. Maybe we should start a crowdfunding to start Osprey Airline. It's Osprey Airways proper. Doc, Delta Tango, late morning. Hello to you. Very good, thank you. There he is, Hergy.
Ohrid traffic, motor 3454, my fine.
Hold on. Yeah, Moldova 345. Last one in for string. I think the fire truck's just going to run out to the lake and spill up its tanks so it can blast loads of water all over our brakes. All of us have cooked them probably. Thank goodness for carbon brakes, eh? Not the old steel brakes that lose their braking ability the hotter they get. Yeah, the best place to follow all the PMDG's news is on their own official forums. Robert Randazzo puts on updates, usually full of meat and content throughout, or usually once a month at least. There'll be some sort of development update in relation to the product cycles or updates that are coming to particular products. and things that are coming soon as well. We do need a payware Frankfurt, don't we? We need a proper high detail Frankfurt. Here comes Cocolada. No, Hergy. Same guy, 2 usernames. Hergy's back on VATSIM. Happy days. Just realised. Oh, absolutely, Chris. Beautiful flare. Look at that. It's holding it perfectly. Holding the flare. Holding the flare. Don't chase in. Perfect. Nailed the touchdown. That's one of the best I've ever seen, that. That was a perfect flare. Just held it and let the aeroplane sink onto the runway. Great job. He's going for full length because the Moldovans have paid for it. There we go, folks. Zurich to Ohrid St. Apostle Airport in North Macedonia. Thanks to every single one of you who flew along. Congratulations to our giveaway winner today as well. Make sure you do contact me. And of course as well, a very warm welcome to all of our new subscribers to the channel. And a big thank you to Will as well for dropping a little tip earlier on too. Enjoy the rest of the week ahead, folks. Have a great new year, whatever you might be doing, wherever you are in the world. I hope you're going to have a great time seeing in 2023 as we begin a new year in the flight simulation world and community. Thanks to every single one of you who has been part of the channel throughout 2022. 2023 looks to be a very exciting year ahead for lots of new products, 737s, 777s, all that sort of thing to look forward to, and more. In the meantime, as always, Happy New Year, and I'll see you on the 1st of January 2023 for a VATSIM group flight from Glasgow Prestwick down to wonderful Gibraltar. I'll see you then. Take care.
An absolute wonderful sight with the airport filled up like it is.
Yep. Being sad, very sad. Had to restart. Had to get my hours.
Happy New Year, guys. Great stream. Good fun. Catch you next year.
Catch you next year.